The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby. Central message. The central message is to spread awareness about the current events to ultimately stop them from happening. Lil Baby wants us to realize all of the racial problems throughout our country. He tells us about George Floyd and the Minneapolis protests to inform us of all the problems going on right in front of us. He repeatedly projects that we are all equal and that we are all in the same story. He wants us to change and stand up against this racism, whether it's the police brutality or the protests. He's trying to reach America, specifically the new, younger generations. He uses his music abilities and his already young audience to spread the word and educate people on these problems we have. By repeatedly using the word we, he is implying his audience, and once again, this is the mostly younger and teen generations across America. The speaker is artist Dominique A. Jones, also known as Lil Baby. He is a black artist from Atlanta, born on December 3rd, 1994. He was raised by a single mother, and after multiple arrests for possession of marijuana and the intent to sell, he started his music career with 4 Pockets Full and Quality Control Music. The song was released on June 12, 2020. There are a few major events going on, with the first being COVID. This disease is still around and spreading rapidly. The second is George Floyd movement and the numerous protests and riots within Minneapolis. The spark that made him write and release this song was the death of George Floyd. By being a part of the black community and America in general, he was physically and emotionally impacted by this uproar, and he felt he was obligated to speak out and up about this.
Protests and growing national outcries continue over the death of George Floyd.
This is a logical appeal because it is evidence that African Americans are not treated fairly by police officers. It brings up the George Floyd murder, which was an example of police brutality toward an African American. It also talks about the outrage caused by this incident by people who are disgusted by the actions of the cop.
Killing us for no reason, been going on for too long to get even. Throw us in cages like dogs and hyenas.
The audience is infuriated because there are countless instances where black people are injured or killed for no reason. The audience will want to do whatever they can to stop this from happening. This connects to the purpose because they are fighting for their ultimate goal of police brutality to no longer exist.
I see blue lights, I get scared and start running. That shit be crazy, they supposed to protect us. Swords and handcuffs and arrest us.
These 3 lines are a representation of emotional appeal because they make the listener, especially the African American community, feel angry and fearful. With the police force turning into more of an evil than a protector, people don't know who to turn to when they feel unsafe. The overall tone of this song is outraged and passionate. Lil Baby is outraged at the fact that there was one case of police brutality, but when he heard that it was a repeated offense, he knew he had to step in. When Lil Baby said lyrics like, "Got my shot, I won't let up," he is displaying a tremendous amount of passion. He is saying that no matter what, he will fight to stop police brutality. This picture of Lil Baby at a protest shows his passion. He is peacefully demanding a stop to racism among cops.
Might as well go ahead and start here.
This is a line that Lil Baby repeats multiple times throughout the song. He uses a few apostrophes and doesn't use proper English in this line. This is very effective though, because the majority of young listeners are familiar with the language and it allows them to connect to the song more. Lil Baby is able to gain credibility from this line because he explains that he has seen some of these events firsthand. Growing up in Southwest Atlanta, he was exposed to the hardships that black people had to face in interactions with the cops at a very young age. Because Lil Baby has been around police brutality his whole life, he's able to share a new perspective on the idea of it. Because Lil Baby tells listeners that you cannot put a stereotype on cops, saying that they are all racist, listeners will absorb that thought and hopefully change their opinions on political matters and their beliefs with a sense of rationality.